Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves. How's it going, all you minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions, and join me today for my overview of Frank Miller's Daredevil Artist Edition from IDW. So, stay tuned. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is get this Artist Edition out of its external box. So each one of these Artist Editions from IDW shipped in these cardboard boxes, and they're nicely tucked in, and all of them shrink wrapped in plastic. I just opened mine up because I couldn't wait to check it out myself. But then I stopped and thought, well, how about I just do this on camera? Because I checked out the first couple pages, and I just thought it was so cool that I thought, well, let's just see what's in here so I can be surprised by doing this video with you all. So here it is, Frank Miller's Daredevil Artist Edition. And you have this classic cover right there, which is of course the first appearance of Elektra. And there's the back of the book. Big thank you to the folks at IDW for sending us a copy of this Artist Edition. And this is all in hardcover. There is no dust jacket. And you have Marvel IDW logo there, Elektra. Once he loved her, now she is his most deadly enemy. Artist Edition. I'm not sure what exactly will be collected in here. Like I said, I flipped through the first couple of pages. So just in case you haven't read Daredevil by Frank Miller, the original run, or Born... Well, I don't think it'll have any Born Again. He didn't do the art in that. Just in case you didn't read any of it, maybe read it first if you want to be surprised. If you've read it or you don't care about spoilers, then by all means join me, because we're going to be probably looking at some spoiler pages here if we are talking about his run on Daredevil. Alright, before going any further though, the one thing I wanted to do, since I'm asked from time to time, is to show just how big these books are. So here it is compared to the size of an Absolute Edition. The Absolute Edition, it's in the slipcase, so it is that much bigger. These do not fit inside of your K-Lax. These are what I like to call top shelf books just because they are so big. Okay, let's go ahead and crack it open and check out this beautiful artwork by Frank Miller and, of course, Klaus Janson, because there's got to be a lot of Klaus Janson in here if we're talking about Miller's run on Daredevil. Okay, let's go ahead and get this book opened. And here we have some frames from inside of the comic books. Daredevil Artist Edition, Frank Miller's. She is Elektra and she is no man's fool. Here's a little bit of the behind the scenes from the people that helped put this together. Special thanks to, these are the wonderful folks that donated original art pages to be scanned. So that's how they get this particular Artist Edition, because this is done in the trim size of an original comic book art page, the way they used to draw them. I have no idea anymore because so many people draw digitally, but I assume they still use the same format, the same size, I think. Here's your table of contents. So written by Frank Miller, additional scripts by Roger McKenzie and David Michelinie. Frank Miller and Klaus Janson are doing the main art with additional inks by Terry Austin and Joseph Rubinstein. Did they put Wolverine in here? This is just Daredevil. Okay, let's just check it out together. So I looked at the first couple of pages, and here we go. This is what you're going to get. So you're going to get original pages. I've done an overview before of the Marvel Heroes Artist Edition and the Jim Lee's and what was it, the Lone Wolf and Cub. And then of course 2000 Rebellion AD is also doing Apex editions of their stuff. But what you get is these original pages right here, the way that they were originally drawn, including the notes. And honestly, that's one of my favorite things about these particular collections, are sometimes the notes to the colorist. But here you have Roger McKenzie doing the writing. So it looks like you do get into the Roger McKenzie era of Daredevil, and then eventually you get into the Frank Miller Daredevil era when he was writing it. So, for example, this is Roger McKenzie and Frank Miller writing the script and co-plotters. But of course, Frank Miller doing the pencils, and then you have Klaus Janson on inks. The lettering by Joe Rosen and Bob Sharon doing the coloring, even though there is no colors. But now we get into issue 168, which is the cover that we get here, and that is, of course, the first appearance of Elektra, but also the first time that Frank Miller wrote and drew Daredevil. And now we really get into his Daredevil era when he begins writing the character and drawing the character. And it looks like it's got a lot of 168 in here, including her first appearance. Then I'm not going to flip through each page, but I'm curious. Yes, it's got the fight with Bullseye. Does it have the roller coaster fight? Oh my gosh, that is absolutely stunning. It's these notes I was talking about. Claws, see zip on wall, blinds, and Elektra, except highlights. And of course, important notes like this to the colorist. Glynis, this is a frosted glass, and Glynis Oliver was the colorist at the time. Before she was Glynis Wein, went on to marry Len Wein. Zip-on glasses. I love these notes. And here you'll learn where it takes place, like what issue Frank Miller and Klaus Janson was working on. Yes. And I love the fact that the caption boxes are all here. The mistakes that are covered up by whiteout are all in here. Do not color. Very nice. And what I will do, it's actually, let's get to an iconic moment. Again, spoilers in case you... Oh my gosh, that is so freaking awesome. Klaus Janson was just... By this point, he was actually the finisher of Daredevil by Frank Miller. And he started off as the inker, and then he went on to become the embellisher, and then, of course, finisher of Frank Miller's Daredevil. Oh my gosh, that is so freaking awesome. It's just so different to see this in black and white before it went to the colors. Or I guess the sepia pages right here. Just looks like you're looking at genuine pages straight from Frank Miller's hands. And honestly, looking at this reminds me of where Frank Miller eventually went with his art style. Even though I realized that this is Klaus Janson inking it. But it's where we get like Sin City, that chiaroscuro art that you see in the pages of Sin City. And of course, other artists have mimicked that style too, including people like Jim Lee. What I want to do though is get the omnibus here. This is the first printing, and I realized these are the little bit of the modernization on the color, so they're not as originally printed. But to kind of give you an idea where we go from this black and white with inks, of course, art style to the finished product right here. It's just so much to admire, and so much that sometimes is missed because of the coloring. And I'm not saying it's bad coloring, because this is the way that I grew up reading the stories, but there's just something wonderful about the original art. And there's a reason why people collect original art that gets insanely priced. Wow. But yeah, and it gives you the date that it was originally drawn right there, just to kind of give you an idea. And I want to look at one of the most iconic moments. Again, just in case you haven't read Daredevil 181, something big's about to happen. But let's look at that fight. I say let's look at the fight. I'm assuming the fight is in? Yes! Oh, yes. Love this. And the whiteouts right here, so you can see the glare on her face. And some of that is lost, of course, with the new modern colors that they used. But if you look at this, my gosh, just how fluid these bodies move. It just looks amazing. It's like somebody snapped a picture. This is beautiful. And just looking a little more here. And, of course, where it ends. That I wanted to compare to the comic because this is such an iconic moment. And of course, this is the way that I remember it in my head because of the color patterns. But looking at it like this in this black and white and sepia, it just looks like a brand new scene. And it's still as impactful as the colors here on the left-hand side. It's just beautiful. You do get a little, his head up there, Bullseye's head, gets a little lost right there in the colors because of course he is in the shadows by that point. But yeah, I had to I'm so glad that this is in here. Here, let's skip a little bit to see what else is in here. Sometimes they put covers because Frank Miller did a lot of the covers, but that's usually all the way in the back. It's from 190 right here. My gosh, that's awesome. What is this? Oh, it's the fold out to the poster with this beautiful image of Elektra right there for the resurrection. And then what? Wait. Sorry. That's beautiful too. But Spider-Man, Elektra, Wolverine. Oh, it's from his early work from annual number 15. Oh my gosh. And Joseph Rubinstein is in here for a reason. Okay. Because it says Wolverine. So yeah, this is from the annual. And then you also have the Bizarre Adventures right here. No way. What? Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorite pictures of Wolverine. This is from Wolverine, issue number 2. Yeah, issue number 2. Oh my gosh. That is so badass. Just to see the spread page in the actual original comic art. Oh my gosh. Okay, Wolverine. And I hope it has, yeah, it has some of the fight scenes in here. Okay, first of all, whoever owns that, holy crap. Let's see. To Bill, thanks Joe Rubinstein, best wishes Chris Claremont, and Frank Miller signature. Who owns this page? That is so awesome. Oh, and there's the covers. Okay. So, a couple of other surprises in there that I didn't go through, but let's look at some of the covers. I love the fight in the roller coaster. They do have a little bit of that in here. There's issue 168, fully intact the way that, of course, it appears with the Marvel Comics group up there. They changed it a little bit for the cover of the artist edition there. That's the Hulk hand. Gotta remember to tell the colorist to color that in green. Oh, beautiful cover right here. That is gorgeous. And the Black Widow cover. That's beautiful too. Wow. May shipping, September cover. Red lines or windows. That's awesome. He's telling his inker that the red lines are the windows. That poor black marker, man. It was done. So this is probably the art style a lot of people are more familiar with when it comes to modern Frank Miller. So there's some pinups and some Wolverine covers with Joseph Rubinstein. And that, wow, look at Spidey's face right there. You can see the glow, like it's lighting up from the city. I always thought his face here reminded me of Paul Smith's art. You get more. There's a Doctor Strange pinup, and yes, classic Wolverine pinup from classic X-Men 22. And then this is the handbook to the Marvel Universe. Okay, I had no idea the Wolverine stuff was in there. That is awesome. So the book is printed, there's in this thick matte paper. Really thick matte paper. And I know when people on my channel sometimes they think that glossy means top tier, and that's not usually the case. It's just depends on the type of art you're looking at. There's a reason, for example, Berserk is printed in matte paper. It absorbs those blacks so well, and that's why they did it like this. The book, of course, has sewn binding, just like the previous artist editions, and it has 144 pages. These retail for $150. I always like to mention that, and they don't get that much of a discount too, so keep that in mind. So if you're trying to collect, I know there's few of my viewers that collect them all, and I'm very jealous of their collection, like that John Byrne X-Men, oh my gosh. But that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this book, don't forget to check out our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltscomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this artist edition. Let me know in the comments down below if you collect these artist editions, if you even knew about them, and what your favorite ones are that you own, and what you're hoping they will collect one day in an artist edition. I would love to know all those comments down below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. Everyone, stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.